All right, one more time. I'd like to call to order the North Branford Planning and Zoning regular meeting for December 11th at 6:32. Please join me in saluting the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, I'd like to introduce the members of the commission seated here tonight for the last meeting of 2025. To my left is Ron Sienna, a regular member of the commission. To his left is Paul Marino, an alternate member of the commission. And to his left is Mary Caruso, an alternate member. And to her left is Chris Heon. Both Mary and Paul will be seated as regular members for the meeting tonight. To my far right is Janet Crane, our recording secretary, and sit at the administrative table is David Perkins, our town planner. And finally, my name is Robert Nowak. I am the chairman for the commission seated here tonight. Next order of business is to consider the approval of minutes for July 10th, September 4th, and November 20th. We were doing pretty good until our member Barry didn't make it tonight, and he's like the key player out of one of the three. So July 10th, we'll take them in order. So I ask the commission members to review the minutes if you haven't already. Let me know if you have any changes, corrections, or modifications you'd like to make, and then I entertain a motion to approve the minutes as revised if necessary. So July 10th, we have Bill Gaudenzi, Barry Ponder, Chris Heon, and Mary Caruso. So unfortunately, we're going to have to continue to July 10th. I was hoping we'd close out 2025, but it's not happening. So we're going to table July 10th. September 4th, we have Bill, Chris, Paul, and Mary. So we have a caucus for, what's that word? Thank you, quorum. I couldn't think of the word. So we'll go with September 4th, and November 20th was Paul, Barry, Ron, and myself, and we have a quorum for November 20th. So when you're ready, let me know a motion for September 4th.
Make a motion to approve the September 4th.
Okay.
meeting minutes.
We have a motion by Paul, a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Mary. So any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Aye. And Ron. So motion carries 3-2. So we got September 4th done. November 20th. Again, when you're ready, I'll entertain a motion on November 20th, meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes on the 20th of November.
Okay. We have a motion by Paul. We have a second?
Second.
Second by Ron. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, motion carries 3-2. Thank you, guys. We approved 2 out of the 3, not bad. Next order of business is the application 2025-9 West Pond Road. We had a public hearing on this application and closed the public hearing last time. And we were left with debating what we were going to approve it or disapprove it based on the various changes on the application. Have you guys looked at meeting minutes or the plans for the previous? Okay, so you're versed on some of the things you've gone through. Dave, is there any new things, any new developments that you would like to share?
Only in that, we didn't have a whole lot of time to actually review that site plan that came in a couple of days before the meeting.
Yes, sir.
And that didn't really have a lot of time to create the plan. And one of the things that the town engineer and I noticed was the new drainage system from the cul-de-sac that goes over to the water course is long and deep. It's probably 8 to 10 feet underground, next to the roadway. And whether that's going to be practical to actually get that pipe in the ground due to rock, ledge, whatever might be in the way, that we allow the applicant and the engineer to figure that out as it goes along. There may be a better way to do it than the way it was planned.
Okay, so we'll let you guys work it out with the applicant as far as its depth and actual location in the field,
Correct.
okay?
And we also asked for contours and the shape of the actual cul-de-sac, and I'm not quite sure that we're really satisfied that it's construction-ready in terms of slopes and the way it's actually going to work. But it's not something that's not going to work, it just needs to be cleaned up and finalized.
Okay,
We did meet with the assessor and created lot numbers and parcel IDs for the 5 new lots. We talked about shared driveway agreements and that those should be executed upon transfer of the lots. We talked about restoration of the land at the sides of the existing cul-de-sac, and that those need to be cleaned up.
which is private property, correct?
Which is private property, yes. Glenwood Road, the cul-de-sac and the extension needs to be deeded to the town. The open space needs to be deeded to the North Branford Conservation Land Trust. The box itself, the open box structure and the wetland crossing is only 2 feet high, which may not be high enough to actually maintain it.
Okay,
A 3-foot opening would be, from here to here is sort of a significant difference, just to get the brush out of it and clean it, because we're going to leave that to the homeowner to maintain it.
correct. And that's on the plans if I remember, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And I think those are the high points that the staff has discussed.
Was,
What?
The first item that you said, the very first thing you spoke,
drainage.
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 So on that note, Dave, that was an addition to the last meeting we had, the drainage, with the
Correct.
cul-de-sac. Was there any impact to the inland wetlands application because of the drainage heading down to the watercourse?
Should it go back to the wetlands to?
No, does it impact the permit or anything, the approval for the inland wetlands?
Probably.
Okay. I was just wondering if you guys discussed that at all.
We did not.
Okay. Has something that's gonna hold up the process at this point in time? Or leave it a condition for a condition? You had some concerns about its constructability, I'll call it,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, we can keep our decision timeline open until we get a new report from the Inland Wetlands Commission.
I don't recall, isn't the drainage in the cul-de-sac, the original cul-de-sac, where does that go?
Nowhere. There wasn't any drainage in the cul-de-sac area.
It was up the street, if I remember, she was telling us it's up the road, but it wasn't on the plan because we didn't have it,
Correct.
right, so, okay,
So it's a revision to the site plan, and it should go back to wetlands for review there as well.
okay. where does that leave us?
I would just say that you're going to request a new report from the Inland Wetlands Agency
Okay, continue this one more time.
updating that permit, and they could do that at their meeting next week.
Okay. So we continue this application till next meeting or special meeting or,
No, I think you have plenty of time to make your decision.
okay,
So we just keep it on the agenda, waiting for a comment from the Inland Wetlands Commission report.
all right, fair enough. So we'll continue the application till next meeting, correct? Before we do that, does any commission members have any questions, concerns?
My only thing was the blasting. If there is blasting, just to give the neighbors some time. Is there standard how much time we're supposed to give them? Or can we make just a request to give them at least 2 weeks?
No,
If there is.
that's totally in the fire marshal's purview, and there are standards and state statutes, and all of those things will be handled by the fire marshal
All right.
when he gives a permit for blasting.
Just as long as the neighbors are notified.
They will be, within 500 feet, they'll be notified, yes.
That's everything I have.
Without further ado, I guess we'll just continue the application till next meeting. End of story. Sorry about that. Okay, next item on the agenda is new business application 2025-12, 524 Forest Road, site plan modification. Good evening, Jim. What do you
Good
got for
evening.
us today?
Jim Preddy, Criscolo Engineering. So this is a plan that was actually approved in '23, I think, originally. This is the existing building for SPDI on that 524 Forest, the old Route 22 Deli's property. This new building was approved and is actually up right now, partially built. They have a very large green cover-it tent in the front, and we got permission to basically move it slightly on the plan. What they'd like to do now is put a building there instead of the tent, which I think is better in the long run for everyone. It also allows them to use the foundation as part of the retaining condition going down the driveway, so a retaining wall additionally will not need to be built on that side. It will give them some more storage, a few office spaces, and they'll be able, because of the grade change, they'll be able to drive in underneath and store some vehicles underneath in the basement, like, drive under a type of garage. We do have some architectural plan to kind of see what it's gonna look like.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so bad.
So yeah, on top of that will be the view from the road. And then instead of that, cover it. They are, we have total of, parking is not an issue here. I mean, they have a total of 45 spaces with, counting some of the ones inside, and they have 18 employees on the largest shift. So we're nowhere near what they need there for parking. But that's it, that's the only real change. Instead of in the front, we had a concrete apron that was access to the tent. Now there'll be a couple of additional spots there. That's it. We've already gone through the health department. There will be an additional small septic system just for that building in the park, underneath the parking lot. They've already approved that. So we're just here for the modification from the cover it to the building.
Jim, the drainage was already in before? The original approval?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, none of that's changing. Actually, the basin's already built, and most of the detention basin's already built, and most of the structures are already in, so.
When you look at it from the street, the east would be the left?
East would be
The right.
Well, when you look at it from the road, it's this elevation. So, yeah.
So the east is the front.
Yeah, that's correct.
But that flew by real quick. Help the old guy out. Which side is the front?
That's what we're.
Okay, that's facing the street.
Yes,
Stone beneath. And then this one here. In the back.
Mhm.
The building-
Yep.
The new building is there. And the stone on the side and the south. What is it, everybody asks, what is it that they do there?
they make products for containment. They like so if you have 55-gallon drums, there's like a skid that is stainless steel with a grate on it. You put the drums on it. If there's a spill, they contain it. They make inserts for catch basins. They make a number of products that are basically like oil water separating kind of things. So they're using their own products in the catch basins here. Wetland group was pretty excited about that.
It'll always be the Bondo building.
Jim, what's your color scheme?
Actually, I don't
Yeah, your
know.
metal roof and,
Gray siding, black roof, and black window.
Gray siding, black roof, black window trim.
They've been in business a long time. They've been in business a long time there, right?
They've been there for, yeah, as long as I can remember. You don't want them started there? I think more than that, yeah.
I do too.
Bondo.
Bondo?
Yeah.
That's what they made Bondo?
Yes. In Norwood, this Bondo capital of the world.
So this will replace that tent that there's right now, the like,
Correct. Yeah, originally they thought they were gonna keep it and basically rotate it, and they're gonna put a building there instead.
Dave, any questions, concerns?
No.
No? Commission members?
It will be a lot better than the thing that's there now.
Come on, that's iconic. That's part of Norfolk.
It's Bondo, he said it's the Bondo factory.
Well, no, but that tent's been there for at least 5 years.
It's held up pretty good.
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, right?
Jim, I don't remember the building in the lower level. It's about the same scheme,
Yeah, I believe so.
Black roof, black window, gray siding.
Same thing.
gray, okay. Quite a significant expansion. That's awesome. This building's gonna be a great addition to your property, that's for sure.
I agree.
I don't have any other questions or concerns.
So I'll
So,
make a motion to approve, is it 2025-12?
yes, sir. Yep.
Second.
Motion by Paul, second by Ron. Any discussion?
Subject to our standard conditions.
Standard conditions. Yeah, do we have a motion, conditions, standard conditions? There's a whole list of them from the previous one, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, there was a whole list of standard conditions when it was approved the first time. This is just a minor modification, so all that would still apply.
Right, all the special conditions still apply. There is no special condition, my bad. Okay,
So it says site plan modification to add an additional building to the existing approved site plan.
Correct.
right, what you said. So any discussion on the application?
I assume there's all the standard approvals, right?
Yeah.
Health, East Shore and all that.
We've already received East Shore approval. We're more than 200 feet outside of the Farm River setback, so we don't need to go back to wetlands. And they'll still need to get a building permit after this.
If there isn't any sewer or water in that section, correct?
Say that again?
There's no sewer or water in
No,
that?
no. They have wells on site and septics for the buildings.
You're close to the river anyway.
Jim, that's not a new curb cut, right?
No, actually, the curb cuts are modified, but we've went through back and forth with DOT quite a bit, and so that's not changing for this plan.
Good, okay, I kind of thought so. With that being said, anything else we'd like to add to discussion? All in favor for the application, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you.
Good luck.
Who had the second?
Was Ron.
Who had the motion?
Paul. Next item on the agenda is other business, Schedule A, discussion. Anything in particular we want to discuss today, Dave, relative to that schedule?
It was discussed at the Economic Development Committee meeting earlier this week,
Okay,
and Liz Kaplan is here from the EDC to share or discuss with you how they feel about our proposals.
okay. Want to come up, Liz?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Great to see you. Happy holidays. First thing I want to say is we are still digesting, between the table of uses and the form-based codes. It's a lot for us because it's new to us. It's not something that we delve into all the time. So this is more, we are hoping sort of for a dialogue. So this is nothing that we're necessarily, these are mere suggestions. And again, we're still at the very beginning, and we hope to have a lot more dialogue with planning and zoning because, we want to be partners, of course, and we want to help our businesses and our community. So just a few things. I think Rory sent you a letter from us. It might be in your packets. It might have been in this packet or it might be in the next packet. And so essentially a couple of things regarding the table of uses. And we see with your changes, being streamlined to improve ease of use, which we see that you're already in progress of. Any ability to decrease discretion in decision-making. For example, special use permits is favorable to developers because it decreases uncertainty. Developers are often unwilling to invest in development design if they know, their project is going to automatically be negated. So something to be aware of as a planning and zoning commission. Adding desired uses and eliminating undesirable uses like removing self-storage, increasing the range of uses within zones. And I'm sure that's a tough one because, that can be convoluted, and I'm sure that's something which will bear a lot of discussion in your commission. And the number of zones in which uses are allowed increases opportunity. So that's a pretty big one. And again, that's something we'd really like to work with you on because we have a very little usable area for development, and we're aware of that, and that's just the nature of our town. And then as far as the form-based codes, and this is something, again, that's even newer to us than the table of uses. So I know it's in draft form and you're working through it, but updating the town design districts to a form-based code will create denser walkable areas in town that will be more attractive. Like we talked about Northford Center, for example. Now, granted, is that a large area? No, but we talked about what if people with families were at Stanley T and they wanted to walk to the library or to the plaza, even though that's not a large geographic area, that would make that area very usable for people in town that do use our facilities. Something like that. That's what we were kind of thinking about. Also allows for more aesthetically pleasing development consistent with the character of the community. Creates areas that residents and visitors alike want to spend time in and patronize our local business community. Provides an increased variety of housing opportunities that will help combat the ongoing cost of living crisis, and provides an increased variety of opportunities for development that will be attractive to developers for some of the most important parcels in town. So for example, 1599, it's at the point, it's almost like a running joke at EDC that we've talked about that parcel for so long. And, that would be an opportunity to be created within, the North Branford Design District. And we think that something like that, like a mixed use where there's retail on the bottom, apartments on the top, we know entrance and egress is an issue there for sure. But just, we want to work together, and these are just some things that we want to kind of get put out there for your commission to consider. And we'd love to have a joint meeting, in the near future, probably when the new year starts, to maybe hash out some more details, to hear what your thought process are, what your vision is, and also to talk about what the EDC's vision is. So it's really this is just the beginning of a dialogue. We met a while ago, and this is a continuation of that. As you're doing all this amazing work, and helping to streamline things, and we would just love to be part of that conversation with you, if that's at all possible and you're amenable to that.
100%, Liz.
Okay.
Glad you're here.
Yeah.
So we can start the dialogue right now if you like.
Sure. I
one of the
can't tell you
things-
that I'll be very educated, but I'm going to try.
No, that's okay. You said special use permits, right? That was when we make these changes, as if you're aware or not, most of the residents in town do not like change.
Sure.
So whenever we try to, in this particular case, when we are having a wholesale change, which is pretty big for the town after not having any changes in over 30,
Yep,
40 years.
absolutely.
We thought it would be best to have a special use permit so the public has an opportunity to speak. If we don't know everything, we're just of
Sure.
different varying backgrounds, and we don't know exactly where every little change will occur in what part of town and affect whom directly. So it gives us the opportunity to have the public speak where we may not know of anybody around how that will impact them directly. You would make mention of increase the range of uses, right? Could you expand on that a little bit?
Honestly,
So uses in the particular zone, you think?
I believe so. That's what we were talking about.
one
And I don't
of
have
the-
my notes in front of me, and I apologize for
Oh,
that.
that's okay. One of the things we struggle with is where in town is there room to grow? Right, if we're trying to be more business-oriented, what portions of
Right.
Route 80 could there be better development in business that's contrary to what our zoning requirements are right now for that particular place? Like, for example, Duties is residential.
We are
right?
reading each other's mind, right?
Duties is a prime example,
Mhm.
right? But I don't know if there's any other ones along the corridor that we could combine. 2 years ago, some of the commission members and I took a ride and we kind of categorized where we thought some zones could come together as a business on Route 1, because then I would ask this question of the EDC, is where else in North Branford where we want to have business or have any development whatsoever in that realm, other than the fact of the Blueprint Committee's, how should I say, Town Center Committee, subcommittee for the Blueprint, want to do something at the perceived town center,
Correct.
right? But besides that, where on the major state routes would it be prudent for additional business, from your perspective?
And that's exactly what we mean. I mean, I don't really want to speak for others, but we all live here because of the bucolic nature of our community, without a doubt. We love it. And at the same time, part of our charge is to help businesses stay in the community, SPI being a perfect example of that. You know, a few years ago, they were thinking of moving out of the community because they wanted to expand, they couldn't. And because of Roger Solway and Carrie Duquesne, they went and met with them, and then a dialogue started. And that's a really important little business to keep in our community. And tonight we see that you've approved an expansion. So those are some things that EDC wants to help whatever that conversation keep going. So I agree on the main thoroughfares is what we're talking about. And I'm a visual person, so looking at the map, you know, there are a lot of, you know, R zones. There aren't a lot of I zones. So and there are pockets here and there. So we want to just really be very careful and do the due diligence that needs to be. But like you said, maybe that is what needs to happen for us. Maybe some of us need to take a ride around town with a map and with Rory and really kind of identify some of the places, and maybe we'll be in simpatico with some of the information that you found. You know, right now when we meet, we're looking at it at a map, and I have to actually see on the road where these places fall. So as far as the Route 80, Route 22, Route 17, I can't honestly off the top of my head think of a lot of places because we do not have a lot of developable land for commercial use outside of whatever potential could happen in the town center. Which is something we honestly support at this time, and we want there to at least to be some kind of investigation as to the viability of that. And so I don't have a good answer for you, and I so apologize for that, but I'd like to have an opportunity to do some more investigating. I know your form-based code thing is in draft right now, and I don't know if that's something that's ongoing, discuss, like, are you taking it part by part to discuss that? The design district?
Right. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Sure.
And it needs to be broken down piece by piece, because
Right.
you could go off and the squirrels take you every different direction around
Right.
here when you look at that thing. And
Right.
it needs to be studied and digested. And so I was thinking to not really move it forward until the spring.
Okay.
And we put it out in both the Schedule A and the form base to the public in the notice in the monthly newsletter by the town.
Okay,
And then if you find anyone that you would seek to comment, we would hope that you would spread it to anybody and everybody far and wide for basically the form-based zone code. From your side of the fence on the business aspect, and us together would help move the public's perception of what it's going to do for the town.
right,
Right, because we're kind of our own entity right now without having support from you folks. And it wasn't really a question of where we could put more business, or where it was like homework for you to tell us what your recommendations would
Right.
be in town, instead of us sticking our neck out where you may already have a good perspective on this, and this guy, and you know who's doing what, where, when. And maybe there's an opportunity to have those current businesses expand in that kind of mixed-use opportunity, such as like the Bobby's Plaza, just out
Yep.
of the top, right? Because that
Right.
could be mixed use,
Yes,
right? The redeveloped and, similar to, what's that, 99? The Supreme Seafood?
oh, yes,
That-
correct.
That's a mixed use with businesses above versus residential, so. And then maybe you guys can identify some of those potential opportunities in the future, or it could
Yeah,
expand if they ever wanted to redevelop those pieces of property. There's an opportunity to redevelop in a fashion that would be conducive for them and us.
true,
Maybe through the form-based zone, even though it's only for the districts.
yeah,
But it does give a lot of guidance within that document for anyone who wants to build in town, whether it be businesses. This is kind of the baseline, I'll call it, of what it could look like. Not only in the town, just the appearances. The
Right.
illustrations are fantastic and really gives us an opportunity to say, hey, we want it to look like this, instead of guessing and having them come in front of us. This is what we're gonna do, without having any support within our document to say yes or no to it, and still, and fall outside the guidelines of our regs. So it was more like homework for you folks.
yeah,
Liz,
we're still, this was like
kinda
our first pass on this, so I'm hoping over the break, over the next month, I know holidays are busy for people, but when we come back in January, we're gonna delve into this even deeper, and I will probably be chatting, or at least meeting with Rory next week, to try to give people some homework, like specific homework questions for when we meet next. So then when we have another conversation, we can all just have this open dialogue. And I'm asking any of the other commissioner members, do you have any thoughts or input about anything that we've been discussing?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to work together and for me to come before you tonight. Again, I apologize in advance. I'm just becoming educated on all of this, and it is very complicated, and it's not something that I operate in my everyday world, as you can imagine.
Oh, absolutely, Liz. We
But-
appreciate you coming in front of us, and our future meetings should be in a different setting than this, instead of a roundtable meeting, instead of a dialogue
Sure.
across the microphones.
Yeah, and we'll try to set up a meeting right after the new year, perhaps, and, really sort of start picking away at this and delving and just trying to get, bless you, a common vision, your vision and what we hope to see. And, we want to give businesses an opportunity to stay in town, expand, as you were just approving, if possible, and really have this a business-friendly atmosphere, while at the same time keeping the charm and the beauty of our community intact. So I want you to really be aware of that. We take that to heart. We're all very passionate about living here, as I'm sure all of you are. And you take, you're the law, essentially. You make these guidelines for people to adhere to keep us this way. And we totally appreciate that, because it's not easy. So thank you for what you do, and I look forward to more dialogue with your commission.
We look forward to it too, Liz, because we're not an island. We're a community, so all your input that you can help guide us in our movement forward is very beneficial to all of us on the commission. We appreciate you coming in front of us today.
Okay.
Thank you for your membership, and all your members too.
Thank you.
So anytime you have a question or concern, shoot Dave, and we'll have open dialogue on it. So even if you're not here, drop them a note or whatever, or your members have a comment or question, drop it into Dave, or even these items on the agenda for a couple more months. So we're not going to vote on them until come the springtime.
Okay.
So there's a lot of opportunity to make modifications along the way.
Okay.
So I had an opportunity yesterday to speak to a gentleman who built the who came in front of us and built the three-story coffee shop in the center of Northford.
Yeah, Eddie?
Eddie, right, and we were talking about some of the form-based components of the heights. And he made it work with the heights that he had, but I think we could do it better.
Okay.
And give him more flexibility and more opportunity, but he had a waiting list for the apartments.
Yeah, no, it looks beautiful. It's a nice little building, and that's great. Well, thank you again. We appreciate what you do, and we look forward to more conversations.
That's awesome, Liz. Thank
And
you
I
so
would
much.
just say that your comment about Northford Center and being able to walk from Stanley Williams to the other side, the Northford Center study is proceeding and should start picking up speed again. January, February, the whole area's been surveyed. We know where all the property lines are. We can start planning for sidewalks and actually put them on a map so that we could apply for a grant to say, hey, we already put them on the map. Now give us money to build them. We're doing more of the engineering work
Right.
up front because typically those grants don't pay for engineering work. And we did get an extra $50,000 from the state to expand the project to get that part done. So I think, the timing between the uses, the form-based code, and the Northford Center study should all happen pretty much at the same time.
Very good.
So I think that's good news.
That's huge.
And then, ACES, the school,
Yeah,
is up for sale. And obviously, we'd like to find the use for it and whether we need to change our zoning. Speaking of islands, that's what a B3 zone
Yes, sir.
up there. So it's its own little unique zone that could be tweaked for a use that's not currently here.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's a behemoth for sure, so it's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out as far as any interest for that particular parcel.
But even, looking through, we've sort of brainstormed a little bit about what are we missing? And the one thing that I came up with was museums. We don't allow museums.
I saw that, yes.
And, maybe that could be the MoMA of Northford,
I would think in a 55-plus community, quite frankly. Redeveloping that as a community, like
Elaine.
Lanes,
Right,
the
well, we
landings in North Haven. I don't know how big it is, but that's just
Oh,
appropriate
isn't it
use.
like 40,000 square feet or something? Is it bigger than that?
The building itself?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
yeah, it's pretty big.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, no, and actually, it's interesting that you said that because I was also thinking some type of apartment-y kind of thing as well. And you're pretty close to, again, I know that whole intersection is going to be reconfigured. So it'll be interesting if that ever comes to pass, the timing of if this building, somebody that wants to develop it as that kind of, as housing, and that, exiting onto that whole, whatever they're gonna do with that Northford Center intersection, hopefully having a coordinated effort would be really great, so.
Exactly.
But, all right, well, thank you again, much appreciated. And if anyone ever has any questions for us from your commission, please don't hesitate to email Rory, me. I'm happy to, whatever I can do to help facilitate things, I'm happy to do it,
Awesome.
right? Thank you
Thanks
so
again.
much.
Thanks
Thanks,
for coming.
Liz.
Anything else, Dave, on Schedule A or the form base or anything you want to talk
No.
about? Okay. We move on to town planners report?
Town planners report, two highlights from what you just sort of discussed. The duties 435 and 465 Foxen Road have applied for a zone change again.
Okay.
So we'll be hearing that shortly. 1355 Middletown Avenue, which is the Ed Lawton building you were just talking about. He'd like to build another building next to the apartment by the building now, by the daycare. But he wants to put residential on the first floor, have 4 units, 2 on the first floor, 2 on the second floor. You can only have residential on the second floor currently. However, House Bill 8002 that just passed in the special session allows residential uses as of right on the first floor in business zones effective July 1st. So all the talk about finding businesses for business zones, now you're allowed to have residential units in business zones, up to 16 units with no parking requirements. In fact, it's less than 16 units, doesn't require parking. More than 16 units requires a plan from the developer that you basically have to approve. It doesn't talk about a building with 16 units, though. It only talks about less than 16 or more than 16. So if you build a 16-unit building, you don't have to, it doesn't work, you know. It's going to be 16 or less, not less than 16.
Gotcha.
So he's coming in to change that regulation in the Northford Design District only, effective whenever you say the change would be effective, rather than waiting for July when you won't have a choice about it.
July, aren't they still discussing that up there, or I know it's...
It's signed, passed, signed, done. They might change it before
I
July.
think they're still
It's
done, but I think...
effective January 1st and July 1st. Doesn't mean it will actually take place, but they have to go and legislate it and actually change it. Create new legislation.
To change the one they just signed the law? Is that
Correct.
what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's what Paul's saying, you know, who knows what they're gonna actually do.
So are you saying that we're anticipating a text amendment change
Correct.
to reflect the current House Bill 8002?
To allow residential units on the first floor in the Northford Center Design District.
So that's any business.
What?
Is it in any business district, right? That law that...
Any business, yeah.
So he's gonna rent to people that just have bikes? There's no parking, right? You said there's no parking, right?
No, he'll still have to provide parking, doing it based on our current zone that he's about to change, rather than reflecting the 8002 parameters, which aren't going to be in effect until July.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
So you actually, if you change it, the parking would still be mandatory for the next 7 months. You follow me?
100%.
Okay.
But that particular location, that's great, right? So if he doesn't have a tenant until July 1st or whatever, how do you rent with somebody that has a car? Where's he gonna park? If he doesn't create parking for the vehicles? It's not mandatory by the law. Am I missing
Middletown
something?
Avenue, people park.
Well, that's not right. Or the school. STW or the
You can't-
firehouse.
You can't park at the school or
It
the
doesn't mean they're not
firehouse.
gonna park there. And then if he does, that means that 20% of the housing units that he rents have to be affordable by the 8002.
I'm sorry, say that again.
So if he's gonna change that, the law that comes into effect in July 1st mandates that 20% of the housing, 20% has to be affordable rentals.
No.
That's in the law.
In the 8002?
Yeah. Yeah, then also in the bill is that SCROG is going to dictate how many rental units we have to have. The state is going to mandate how many rental units we're supposed to have in the 8002.
Right. In 2029, we have to have our report approved.
Oh.
So we do have 4 years.
Okay, plenty of time.
But I don't think that 20% doesn't have anything to do with the ability to create residential units on the first floor of a building in a commercial zone.
Right. But then all the rental units, 20% have to be affordable.
No,
Okay.
I don't believe that's correct.
Got to be economic diversity.
On or after July 1st,
Co-op city, that's the answer.
Co-op city, I agree.
on or after July 1st, the regulations shall allow for the as-of-right development of any type of middle housing as defined in Section 11 of this Act, or mixed-use development on any lot that allows for residential use, is zoned for commercial use. Does that mean industrial and business? And so that's all it says. It doesn't say 20%. It says you have to allow residential use in a commercial zone. It doesn't define a commercial zone.
Plenty of prime real estate in our industrial zone. I've had it.
So that's a heads up. Again, and these are,
So in the same token, well, hold on a second. So in the same token, if we do our form-based zone change before he does his text amendment, he'll have to abide by the form zone change?
correct, and I have to worry a little bit about the elimination of the parking because our form-based code is all based on parking.
Correct. It's the reverse logic of how many cars can I fit will equal how many units I can build.
So we may need to tweak that and talk about floor area ratios and open space, and we can get there without saying the word parking.
Is that like characteristic that we eliminated from
It
our?
would be
our
almost
last-
exactly the same
last
thing.
session?
But again, when you do a request for a zone change, you're acting in a legislative capacity. You don't need a good reason to approve it or deny it. It's not an administerial procedure where it's black and white. It's not a special use scenario where you can do it as long as you have conditions. You can say you like the change or you don't like the change. Right?
Yep. Will you be coming to that public hearing, Liz?
Sure.
We'd appreciate your input. Correct. Right. It's not, it's about the potential uses in that particular business zone that applies. Any particular item out of that list can be developed there. And the property owner doesn't have to dictate at this present time. He's just making a zone change, requesting a zone change from us
Correct,
for future use of whatever that is in the schedule.
correct.
Okay. Is that the next meeting, Dave, 8th? For the zone, for duties, or somewhere thereabouts? You got to get in the paper, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be the next meeting, but it'll be the following meeting.
Okay. Gotcha. Maybe I can zoom into that one.
We can do that.
Okay. So that won't be,
Okay, well, we can create a hybrid meeting.
okay, that'd be awesome.
Well, you'll be up on the screen there.
Whoa, bigger than life.
Make sure I have pants on. My Hawaiian shirt.
No, just the shirt.
Sunset in the background, little umbrella drink. So is that both of them, Dave?
Yes,
Okay, so zone change and the text amendment is for the 1355 Middletown on the same,
correct.
occurred the same day, same time?
Probably, yes.
Okay. Gotcha. So we have an opportunity, if we don't like it, we can just deny the text amendment, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Dave?
No.
Okay. With that, anybody, you guys have anything you want to offer, say anything, you're here, since we're closing out, end of the season, the free-for-all. Everyone say something, I'm only kidding, it's all good. With that being said, we're on, moving on to item number 9, our illustrious Ron Sienna is going to take us home.
Okay, on behalf of Planning and Zoning, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, a Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. What am I missing?
There's like a list.
There's a list. Whatever you celebrate, have a good one. I motion we adjourn.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're adjourned for 2025. Thank you all. See you in 26.